Hey guys, so unfortunately, this title is not clickbait. Last week, I had an employee and a business partner steal clients from the business to the tune of $68,000 per month or $817,000 of annual revenue. So that sucked. The purpose of this video is not to bash them. I'm not naming names or getting into the details. Karma will sort that whole mess out. But instead, I wanted to share with you guys my 3 most effective, best techniques for dealing with stress. As a business owner, it's our responsibility to handle the problems that inevitably occur in our business. One of my favorite questions to ask business owners is, what is the biggest pile of BS that you've had to wade through? And usually it's hilarious, but every owner has an answer, and there usually is something absolutely ridiculous. So over the years, the last decade or so, I've got 3 things that really help, and hopefully they will help you too. Here they go. Number 1 is understanding where you are in terms of your levels of consciousness. This is a concept taught by David Hawkins, and it says that your emotions are on a scale and you move between the bottom and the top of the scale. When you're on the bottom, that's where you are with the least amount of power. And those are the feelings of shame, the feelings of apathy and guilt. And what's fascinating and kind of counterintuitive about this scale and why understanding the scale is so powerful is because it's not about going from the bottom and then jumping up to the top. It's actually more about a ladder. It's more about working your way slowly from shame up into anger, up into pride, up into courage. And that's exactly the process that I've been going through for the last couple of days. You know, when I found out that this was happening, and it completely blindsided me that this partner, stole an employee and was stealing all of this business. At first it was like a feeling of shame for being so stupid, for allowing this to happen. It was feeling of apathy, like, oh my gosh, like here's this big thing that I now need to do. And this feeling of like, can I actually do this? And I probably spent about 4 or 5 hours there before I was able to graduate to the feeling of anger. I mean, it sounds ridiculous because, being in a state of anger isn't pleasant either, but it actually is better than being in the lower rungs. When you guys are dealing with stress or dealing with these major problems, please screenshot this scale. I found it to be very helpful. I actually used to have it printed right in my office, in my previous office. And I would kind of check in to see, like, where am I on the scale and what is the next step that I need to take in order to gain more power so that I can be more effective with with whatever I'm dealing with. The second thing that I'll remind myself of in periods of high stress, it's actually like a biblical scripture, which is he who is without sin among you, let him cast the first stone. So this is from John chapter 8. It's kind of it has to do with karma, but it also has to do with not being the victim and also forgiving people. In this scenario, I really objectively feel like my team was betrayed and wronged by bad actors who just got insanely greedy. I definitely could have set things up to prevent this from happening. I don't think that we're really in the wrong in this. My team was in the wrong in this scenario. But if I'm being honest, in my life, am I 100% innocent of betrayal? Have I never cheated on a girlfriend? Have I never done something, to a friend that I'm ashamed of? The answer, sadly, is no. I'm human. I've made tons of mistakes. By remembering that I'm not innocent in life, that really is helpful in terms of dropping anger against other people. You don't forgive other people for them. You forgive them for you, because it's by you holding on to the anger, that's when you build up bitterness and you build up resentment. And if you're trying to do anything in your life, if you're trying to lead something by starting a business, like are your employees or your partners going to want to be with somebody who's bitter and paranoid, or somebody who has forgiveness in their heart and has a lightness in their heart because of that? And then the third technique that I do is I kind of have a list of all of the garbage that I've been through in the past. It's remembering, my trials and tribulations. For me, I've got a mountain of stuff. I could walk you guys through it. I'm not sure you're very interested in hearing about the divorce from a business partner, the actual divorce, the custody battle, the actual tragedy of losing my sister in a car accident. But these are the things that I've been through. And when I stack up that mountain of garbage and I put next to it this specific thing, it doesn't seem as big. It really just puts it in perspective. This is a great technique, and I know that you listening to this, I know that you've gone through a lot in your life. If you're watching this video, you've gotten through it though. It's a reminder. Remind yourself of how strong you are. Remind yourself of what you're capable of. Remind yourself of how creative you are and how resourceful you are to find solutions to these problems. And then when something does come up with you, just, focus in. It's just this one thing, and then apply that focus, apply that creativity, apply that resourcefulness. That's pretty much it. Top 3. Number 1, know where you are on the levels of consciousness. Remember, guys, that you are not without sin. You can forgive other people. And 3, remember the stuff that you've been through. Remember who you are and what you can do moving forward. I pray that this is helpful to people, and that this reaches you at the right time. And if it is helpful for you, if you have any other thoughts or other techniques that you use, please comment below. We've got a small community here, and it'll, the message will mean a lot to me. I know I'll read it, and maybe it can be helpful for somebody else who's reading it. Thanks so much. See you next time.